In this video, we'll be replacing this dash trim panel on this Ford F-150. So to remove our dash panel here, we're going to start with these two little trim pieces. I have one on each side of the steering wheel. I'm going to come in with a small flat blade screwdriver and just pop these out. There'll be 2 points of contact behind there with 2 clips. So now on the other side of our steering wheel, so now behind our 2 trim pieces that we just removed, we'll have some T20 screws, one on each side, and one underneath our headlight switch. So now to remove this dash trim panel, your headlight knob has to come out. Now what you're going to need to do is pull your headlight switch all the way out, rotate it until you see a cutout on the back side of the knob here. You'll come in with a small flat blade screwdriver. You'll see just a little piece of metal in there. So once you find that tab, go ahead and push rearward and pull the knob right off. So now at this point, if you have a tilt steering wheel, go ahead and lower your steering wheel all the way down. Unfortunately, we don't, but the only thing we will have to do is lower our blinker on one side. Then we'll come up top, the top of our black trim piece here, grab a hold of that and pull inward. We're gonna work our hands all the way around. Once we feel that we have this pretty loose, we're gonna rotate the passenger side up and onto the steering wheel. Once we're here, we can then unplug our fuel tank selector switch. We're going to use a small flat blade screwdriver to open that plug and pull it apart. Once you have that apart, you can then remove this trim piece. Now while we're here, we can remove these old broken pieces of our old dash panel. So now before we put our new dash trim panel back in, we need to take our fuel selector switch here from our old dash and put it into our new dash. So there can be 2 Phillips screws. Take those out. And remove the switch. So now to install your fuel selector switch on your new dash panel, you have a couple of small pins down below that are going to line up with the small pins on your switch, as well as the screw holes further up. So just lower it down into position. If you focus on your 2 top screw holes, rock it back and forth a little bit, you should find those 2 smaller pins. Once you have them located, put your 2 Phillips screws in place. Don't need to over tighten these. You don't want to crack the plastic. Once you're done there, make sure it looks good in front. It's sitting even. We're ready to go to the vehicle. So now to put your new dash trim panel in, we're going to put it up on the steering wheel. We're going to take our fuel selector switch harness. We're going to connect that. Now we can lower our trim piece into place. Again, right around here we'll have to push down. Now this might take just a little bit of wiggling to get it to sit just right. The harness might be in the way here. Now if you've made it this far, don't rush it by trying to force it into place. You don't want to crack or break any clips. Just take your time. It will go into place. Once you've found those spots where it needs to locate into, just go ahead and give it a couple of firm pushes in all the way around. Your main clips are going to be up across the top. Down here in the middle, it'll be held in by these T20 screws. We'll put those back in now. So now I'll put one of the two screws back in. And while we're here, we'll put our cover back on. We'll locate those two clips and push in. The other side. And finish it off with that cover. So now the last thing we're going to do is reinstall our headlight knob. I'm going to locate it in the center. We're not going to push all the way in. We're going to make sure that when we turn our dimmer switch, that our headlight icon here isn't facing in a weird direction. You only have a few options. That looks good to us. Once you like where it is, go ahead and push it all the way in. Give it a turn all the way right, all the way left, back in, give it another pull. It should not come all the way back out. If it does come all the way back out, go ahead and do that again. Push it all the way in, left, right, and try and pull it back out. Again, you're just trying to lock in that pin at the very end of that bar. Now that you have your headlight switch installed, what you want to do is test for functionality. Turn the key on, pull for parking lights, pull for headlights, and then check your dimmer. If everything looks good, you're all done.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.